How did you came up with the correct ring size, fit for your girlfriend? Yes, I want to propose to my GF and I am wondering what if I buy a ring that does not fits in her finger. One does not simply asks for it. I bet it is something she probably won't know, and asking would ruin the surprise. How will I get the correct ring size that fits in my girlfriend's finger? How did you guys did it? Any help, ideas will be highly appreciated. Edit. Hi everyone, thank you for your help. I just wanted to add a little context. We live together and we have talked about marriage, and just as me she is willing to. I just want to make the proposal something unexpected to her. I just took the ring that she wore on her opposite hand to the jeweler's one evening when she went out without it. Was a perfect fit. Getting it resized isn't a bad option, but I proposed at the start of a holiday. If I had got a ring that was too big, she wouldn't have been able to wear it for that holiday. Getting it right first time was worth it. While in the mall shopping, my husband suggested we get my ring sized. I happily went as we'd already discussed the eventual possibility of getting married and everything spending our life together entails. The proposal was still a complete surprise to me because I had no idea when, where, or how he was going to ask. I absolutely loved it and loved wearing my ring that fit perfectly right away instead of having to get it resized. We did this too. He ended up buying mine at a different store than the one that originally sized me. New store didn't believe my child-sized fingers and just assumed my husband didn't know. He caved to their suggestions and my ring was 2 sizes too big. We popped a ring sizer on until we could go back and resize it. The idea of getting sized and looking at things together was nice. I gave him a few ideas of what I wanted so he knew he was spending money on something I would actually really like, and I still got a huge surprise of the place/day/time where he proposed. You will likely be fine even if it doesn't fit. Sizing once is gentler on the ring. Sizing up versus down doesn't have the same limitations but depends on design. Buy it as is and do what you need to do to make sure the shop can resize in a timely manner. A week can feel long, but not that bad. She will want to show it off immediately, is what it is. Take pictures. The jeweler may get a good comparison guess based on a picture of her hand laying on yours. A week can feel long, but not that bad. She will want to show it off immediately, is what it is. Take pictures. You can always have a spare box of those ring sizers for her to use until she's ready to resize. Costs like $10 on Amazon, as long as the ring isn't too small, in which case she wouldn't really be able to show off anyways. Mail right here. Any jewelry store worth their gems will happily resize your ring for free. Buy a simple solitaire ring, just the center stone. Guess her size compared to your hand, add a size or two, better loose than tight, propose with ring, then bring her back to store so she can pick out her band. Then she and you can shop for your wedding bands together so you both get what you want. Jewelry stores have a lot of competition, but they also have an insane markup if they're not bending over backwards for your business. There are another baker's dozen stores who gladly will. I was advised by a jeweler, who could have made money by telling me otherwise, that this is bad advice unless you know the particular ring and the kind of resizing. In my case, a resize from the standard size would have messed up the ring enough that the diamonds would be loose and eventually fall out. Even if you're counting on a resize, it's best to start with what you think is the right size. Did this and failed. She had a ring she loved. Correct finger. She was very unobservant, so I snagged the ring on a day she wasn't wearing it and brought it to the jeweler to size. She called me searching for her ring while I had it, and I had to confess that I borrowed it. Got the ring. It fits, and we are happily wed. Now the whole thing makes for a sweet story. I agree with this point exactly. Recently married and we ended up considering her first ring a promise ring and her new band, that she chose, as her wedding ring. You won't go wrong involving her in the process, not to mention I decided to get a new one as well and I'm much happier with the design and fit. She drew the engraving that goes around the outside and engraved the inside with our saying. I had literally bought the ring from the store, and on her lunch break we went for a walk around the mall to waste time. Told her I wanted to know my ring size since eventually she would need to get me one too. Went in and the lady who had helped me with picking her ring offered to size her up too. Turned around and put it down on the paperwork for me right after. Hey, so if you guys have talked about marriage in the future, that's a great time to talk about rings. Not just sizes, but styles, stones, and all the other stuff so you're both on the same page. For example, I dated a woman who was all about the 3-month rule, and knowing that really helped me make the choice to not buy her an engagement ring. On the other hand, if you guys haven't talked about marriage in the future, I would highly recommend having that conversation in detail before buying a ring. Some people don't want to ruin the surprise, but the surprise should be more about when, where, and how you're going to propose rather than if you are. Male, take her ring shopping. That you're going to ask her to marry you should not be surprise. The when and where, sure, go nuts, but that you are, or do it as a surprise with like a fucking candy ring or something, then take her ring shopping to get something she wants. Better yet, one of you goes to a gem mine that does tours or something that lets you mine a stone and learn how to cut it, the other learns how to make rings, and make your own. You'll have something the two of you made rather than whatever the store had that day. Again, that you are planning to get married should not be a surprise, unless you like telling us so. I go down on one knee as she says, we need to talk. And tells me, she's been trying to figure out a nice way to dump me. Vertical bar banging my dad, vertical bar banging the neighbor, vertical bar in a all painter 3-way with my dad and neighbor, both painters, type story. As a woman, I'd kinda hate if my partner took me ring shopping before proposing. Haha. Sure, it's best to both have a good outlook of your future together, but fully discussing "yeah, I wanna propose sometime soon, is that okay?" really ruins the magic for me. Plus, part of the appeal is that your partner gets to pick the ring. I think it's cool for someone to know me well enough that they can choose something I'd like, since it makes it more personal. Yay, I chose the ring with her like 6 months before I proposed. We went to a real store to try stuff on and get sized, but I bought it online. The fact that I was going to propose to her was not a surprise, but the time, date, way was still all a surprise for her. Hell, she even knew I was going to do it in December, and she was still stunned when I did it. The day I did it, she even asked, "Are you going to propose today, because it would be a perfect day?" I lied and said nope. And her gullible ass believed me. Otherwise, I think a lot stores offer free resizes. Just get an average size and scale up and down based on her body, finger type. I think the most important part is to ensure that the ring will fit the day you ask, and not be too small. She's going to want to take pictures and celebrate immediately. I had a rough assumption of which size mine would wear, and asked to go half a size up. I happened to be incredibly wrong, and they had to take the ring almost 2 full sizes down, but at least it fit for pictures. Bring a sizer as well, a little spiral piece of rubber that loops around the ring to tighten it up on her finger if it is too large. Best of luck, buddy. So this is a story of a friend, but he is the DM for D&D, and he bought cheap jewelry in every size, and at one point in the campaign they found a chest full of rings that could only go on your left ring finger, and whichever one fit you was the one that you would get in the game. So now everyone is trying on all these different sizes of rings, and he just has to remember which one she fit. I already knew her ring size before I went shopping, and I confirmed it with her mom to be sure. If you can't do that, I'd say next time she does something cool/awesome/whatever, say something like, "Damn girl, I'ma have to put a ring on you. What size is that? I'm going to the store tomorrow." Oversell your enthusiasm so it's a joke, and she might not get suspicious. Ask her mom, best friend or sister. They probably know. I keep a list with the ring sizes of my female friends in case their BF ask me. Most girls who want to get married know their ring size and told it to someone. We planned that shit in our heads. And another idea would be to request a skloop ring date or something. Those where you put your hands in the sticky stuff and it comes out as a sculpture, you know. Sorry, English isn't my first language. Then take the thing to a jewelry store. They can tell you the size by just looking at the finger. I tried on my roommate's ring, and she knew what size she was, and told my BF when he asked. Teamwork. I knew it was happening because we talked about getting engaged in the summer, but he didn't give me any specifics, so it was still a surprise to me when it happened. Congratulations in advance, BTW. TLDR. Ask a store employee ahead of time to make your GF try on 3 different sized rings when you come in. My mother just pulled a genius move to help me. Was at a store with her and she went to the bathroom and she asked the guy behind the counter to take out 3 rings, different sizes, and ask my GF try them on when she got out of the bathroom. Worked, and didn't seem like my mom was asking. Asked her early on what it was and kept it in my phone. Early enough that she knew I wasn't planning on proposing, but not so early that it weirded her out. I think it was a year in. I also told her when I asked that it was not for a proposal, just for future reference. Ended up buying her a non-engagement ring for our 2-year anniversary with that information and she is pleasantly surprised. Took her to the jewelry store BC. I wanted a nice watch. I spent 30 minutes looking for the perfect watch while she looked around. Before we left I told her she should try on the most god-awful over-the-top old lady ring. It was too big. I asked the clerk what size she would wear. The lady happily sized my girl's finger. It was slightly suspect to my GF, but she had no idea it was part of a grander scheme. BTW, she's now my wife. The proposal can be a surprise, but the fact that you are going to propose absolutely should not be. So I took my girlfriend ring shopping. I noted her size and some general style preferences. She didn't pick out her specific ring, but I knew what color metal that she preferred, an ornate band over a big R diamond, etc. She knew I would be proposing, she just didn't have a clue when or how, and a quick ring shopping trip several weeks beforehand didn't hurt anything. Except my so actually chose the ring in my case. Plus, keep in mind that people can have the perfect ring in mind, but when you get to see the plethora of options in the store and try them on your hand, minds can change quickly. What she thinks look cute in online images can look very different when inserted in her finger. I wanted to reduce that chance for a big expensive purchase and decided to let my so choose what she wanted and liked. When I started getting the itch to propose, I casually mentioned ring styles while we were out at the mall, walking by a jewelry store. Hey, let's go check out rings. Don't get your hopes up, this shit is expensive and I'm not there yet financially, but why don't you show me what styles you like? And while you're there interacting, casually ask the salesperson, and what ring size is she? Few more questions. Grab a business card. Bada bing, you're out. Prepare for her to have a big dumb grin on her face for the rest of the day, and for her to ride you like a fucking bronco later. I would recommend starting with a placeholder ring unless you're absolutely sure what style she likes. Not something too expensive, but still nice. A ring with silver and white sapphires looks like diamonds and white gold, just not for very long. Maybe a week or 2 with regular wear. This will give her the opportunity to choose her own style for this large expense, and also gives her something to wear worry-free while doing things that might potentially damage or destroy the real ring once you have it. To get the size, just take a piece of string or paper and wrap around her finger while she's asleep or not paying attention. If you aren't super sure on the size, it's best to err slightly larger, as even if it slides off easily she can still take photos. If it's too small she won't be able to do that, and depending on the person could even take it as a sign that it's not meant to be. Haha. Start casually talking about this watch you like, and after some time drag her to a jewelry store that has it in stock to check it out. Maybe do this twice. Be too worn on the purchase or just do a lot of comparison shopping. Beforehand though, frequent that store solo and educate yourself on diamonds, and select a stone you want for the engagement ring. Work with the same employee so that when you come into the store together looking for the watch, said employee knows to entertain your GF by having her try on a bunch of fancy rings while you seem to be struggling with your watch shopping. Don't pay any attention to your GF. Just stare at that watch like a doofus. That is because your partner in crime behind the counter now knows your GF's ring size and likely some idea of what she does and does not like. Try to get out though before she asks if you are ever going to buy that stupid watch. If she doesn't figure out your plan, you've still got a surprise proposal in the card. Get a stone and put it in a cheap, simple setting. If she accepts, take her to the store to have her select a setting to her liking. You can't mess up a diamond purchase with solid guidance, but you definitely can pick a ring she might not like, and depending on the store they may refine the original setting when you replace it with something new. Married almost 10 years and I still wear that damn watch daily. Save yourself some trouble. Ask your soon-to-be wife, husband their size. The surprise should be the when you propose, not the fact that you're proposing. Give her, him the runaround on possible locations, times, set up dates, go have fun. Heck, bring the ring. Sometimes you might just decide to ask, but keep her, him guessing and enjoy tons of dates. As a woman, I'm telling you to please go ring shopping with your girlfriend. It won't ruin the surprise. Plus you should be talking about engagement anyways. Figure out what she likes. What she's seen online might look different than she imagined in person. My preferences changed completely when I went to look. When you go, you can get her ring size. Don't go off of ring sizes from another finger. All 8 of my fingers are different sizes. If you ignore all my advice, make sure you at least get nothing more than a half-pave band if she wants diamonds on the band. It's very hard to resize a full pave band, and definitely no detailing on the band. Simple. Measure the circumference of your dick and start requesting as many hand jobs as possible. While she's going to town, slowly craft a mental image of the ratio in size between your dick and her ring finger. Then, go to the jeweler, show them your dick and describe as best you can how the size of her finger relates to that reference point. Engagement rings are really expensive. The surprise should be the exact moment and how you propose, not that the proposal is coming. I took my wife to look at rings at a few places, found out what she liked, and when her eyes lit up just right I knew we'd found her ring. The store we were at very tactfully sized her just in case right when we started looking and then led her away from me while I haggled the price when we found the right ring. I ordered it and we left with nothing. She thought that like the other times we had looked at rings it was just a window shopping experience. About 3 weeks later I proposed at her grandma's house and she had no idea it was coming because she didn't know I had actually ordered the ring. Her mother and sister didn't know it, so when I was cleaning the apartment I took one ring and asked her why it looked so small and what size it was. Maybe she got suspicious, but I noted it somewhere and had a huge delay until the proposal. Would have been smarter to take a ring and just ask someone at a jewelry shop what size it is, so better go for this option. There's a comment that's been posted that the answer shouldn't be a surprise, and I wholeheartedly agree. Lady here. My husband asked my mom and sister, who accidentally texted me, then came clean about it and actually measured my finger. I kept asking about it on and off for months. When he finally did propose it was a complete surprise. I thought he hadn't even bought the ring yet. Fits like a dream and I'm so glad he measured my finger first. One thing a lot of couples do is talk about marriage and whether they are ready to be engaged yet. This will help you get a sense of I need to wait or I can ask her for her ring size. If the conversation ends with you both being ready, ask her for her ring size. Some couples even go ring shopping together. After that, find the perfect time and place to get engaged. Basically, talk about if you are ready for marriage. If so, ask for ring size and proceed. I asked one of our mutual friends to take her out shopping for the day when she needed some new clothes. Asked her to steer my wife to be into a jeweler's so our friend could look at rings, and to do the whole girly chat about rings and to try a few on. Later that afternoon our friend dropped me a message with her preferences of material and jewel type, size. Most of this wasn't a surprise to me anyway, and her ring finger size. Before we went on holiday to my proposal location I'd paid for a spa day for two, and hinted about taking our mutual friend, which included getting her nails done knowing she'd want to post a ring picture online ASAP. A week after I proposed I took our friend out for dinner with us to say thanks for the undercover work and the now missus didn't suspect a thing until we told her. Obligatory, we discussed getting engaged beforehand so it was a wanted surprise.